are on Zoom currently. So if you are ready, I am too. Let's quickly go through these 3 parts. And I would like your attention on all of them, and I know that you are with me, therefore we will begin. Your first responsibility, well, you are privileged to be a delegate to a general conference session. But this privilege comes with some responsibilities, and we'll look at some of them. Responsibility number 1, be informed. What we mean here is that it is the responsibility for the delegate to familiarize himself or herself with the material that Secretariat has shared with you. It is the responsibility for that delegate to listen thoughtfully to all the presentations that are made here, the reports that are given. Now, if your responsibility is to be informed, our responsibility is to inform you. So the next 2 slides are extremely important because they will help us communicate with you. Your responsibility, be informed. Our responsibility, inform you. How do we inform you? You have seen the GC session website. This is what you see on the website, and you see the address that is there. And when you click on business and you scroll down, you will find session agenda. And just under session agenda, you will find documents. Delegates, this is an important place for you to be visiting often. When we will communicate with you, it will be in the section documents. For example, I don't want you to go there now, but there is a list that has been already published there, and we will allude to it in a few minutes. So please, this section under agenda and document is key for you as a delegate. We inform you, you inform yourself, so that when we come here, we can take informed decisions. The same thing applies for the app. You will go on the app, you have the address here, you go on business session, you click on business session, and you will see agenda and business. Business is where we communicate with you. Take time to read, take time to familiarize yourself with documents that are posted there. So let me quickly go through the other responsibilities, Mr. Chair. It is your responsibility to attend meetings regularly. We are aware that you come here at 8 a.m. and the last meeting ends at 9:15 p.m. We are aware of that. So we still encourage you to attend. You have heard that this is a special GC session where we had to squeeze many things in a small number of days. But please, this is a responsibility. Maintain confidentiality of privileged information. I will not drill down too much into this, especially if you're a member of the nominating committee, but suffice here to say one thing. Parking lot talk, corridor talk about confidential information, and I will even say pillow talk is not something that we will encourage you to do when it comes to confidential information. 4th one, respect the decision-making process and the decisions that are voted, even if I have not voted with the majority. I will not expand on this because it's a good segue to item number 2, which is an excerpt from the church manual that I will read to your hearing. Mr. Chairman and esteemed delegates, even if this excerpt from the church manual is about delegates to a conference session, we believe that it is appropriate for us who are attending today a general conference session. Just listen to this piece of advice. So I'm reading from the church manual, page 110. Delegates to a conference session are not chosen to represent merely the church or conference. They should view the work as a whole, remembering their responsibility for the welfare of the worldwide work of the church. It is not permissible for church or conference delegations to organize or attempt to direct their votes as a unit. And I end this quotation. Each delegate should be susceptible to the direction of the Holy Spirit and vote according to personal convictions. Church Manual, page 110. Let me end this brief orientation. I promise you it will be brief. Number 3, these are some practical information to improve your experience, whether you are online or on-site. I need your attention here, please. This is important. Always wear your badge when attending the session meetings and going for your meals. That's very important. Number 2, your responsibility as a delegate, because we will use much of electronic system to conduct the business of the church here, it is your responsibility, please, esteemed delegates, to charge your devices, laptop, cell phone, external battery. You have been given a power bank, a portable power bank. You see the picture here. Ensure that every evening they are charged, and when you come here, you can use them effectively. Now, we have a charging station at the end of the dome. If you just turn around, you will see a lady with an American flag. Turn around, you will see a lady with an American flag. This is where the charging station is. You will find several rows there, and you can go there like in the airport. You know, you come there, you charge your devices, and when it is charged, you leave the place. Others will use this. So this is extremely important. And just before I invite my esteemed Dr. Lenless to join me to wrap up this section with some protocols, I need to remind you of this one. Protocol to speak if you are on Zoom or if you are on site. Let me begin with those who are on site first. In your agenda packet, you have only 2 pages that are colored. One is a yellow page, that's page 6, and one is a pink page, that's page 7. If you are tired to read the whole document, we hope you will not be tired, but if you are a little tired, just focus on page 6 and 7 for your responsibility. I will give it to you in a nutshell. Page 6, a yellow page. Page 7, a pink page. How do you approach the chair? You approach the attendant at the nearest microphone station. They have been labeled there. You wait for the attendant to tell you when to speak. You give the attendant your badge. They will keep it until the time you leave. You may speak when the chair acknowledges you. And when you finish speaking, you can retrieve your badge. For our Zoom participants, very important, you will be reminded of this over and over and over again. Your request to speak, virtual hand raised. The Zoom coordinator will talk to you. There will be a conversation that will be engaged. When you confirm that you wish to speak, because we don't want to put you here on the large 2 screens and then you say, oh, I'm not supposed to talk. It will be an embarrassment. So continue to talk with your coordinator. And when the chair acknowledges you, they know at the back what to do. Mr. Chairman, esteemed delegates, you have been provided with a Wi-Fi access. This is only for your use as a delegate to vote and to receive materials. So please refrain from doing other things with this internet connection. And please log in with only one device, the device that you will use to vote and to conduct the other aspect of business. So, Mr. Chairman, I will invite Dr. Landless to join me here, and we will end this portion about the orientation. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brother Hensley. What a privilege to be here. This is a wonderful occasion. It is actually a family reunion. It took me 1.5 hours to get from the Marriott to registration. Why? I didn't get lost, but I was found by so many of you. What a pleasure and a joy. And thank you for being here, for being conscious that we are still in the midst of COVID. Also, your health, your well-being in every way is our major concern. Please remain hydrated. Take the necessary walks and exercise that you should be doing. And for the emergencies, there is near the cafeteria between registration and where we eat, there is a place called First Aid Plaza. This is attended by EMTs, emergency medical technicians, who are there to help you if you have a health problem. Now, when it comes to COVID suspicion, if you feel that you are not well, that you have a temperature, a bit of a runny nose, it feels like you have a cold, a cough, muscle pain, please stay away from this convocation. We are supplying tests at home, personal tests. Go to the room 113. Pam Ingram Clay, our GC nurse, will help you. We are hoping that there will not be a huge demand, but they are there. And then please contact also, as per the instructions in the app and on gcsession.org, your health coordinator and the executive secretary of your division. And then if it's positive, those two will know about it, and then together with our nurse and others will advise on further steps. You received in your bags one of these. It's a mask to be used at your discretion. We are following the jurisdiction rules of the territory in which we are. It's not mandated, and we chose not to mandate mask wearing. We would ask you to use them as you choose. I use them what I call facultatively, particularly when I'm with people, a lot of people. Also, hugging is inevitable. But just check it out with the person you're going to hug, that it's all right with them too. It's the way to go. It's difficult to distance. There's hand sanitizer placed all around the area. Please use it. We're not through the pandemic yet. We would like you to remember all of these things carefully. Our prayer is that you will prosper and be in health, even as your souls prosper. May the Lord bless you richly, as together we care for each other's safety, our own, and also that we prevent being labeled as a super spreader, except to be super spreaders of God's word and salvation.
Thank you, Peter.
Calibration immediately. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
We will try now to have some calibration vote, and then we will proceed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We will make it as quickly as we can. I am very happy to report that a huge number of delegates have already voted, Mr. Parliamentarian, but we need to go through this process quickly, but this is a very important process because every day we will vote using election buddy. And every day, for the 4 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you will receive a calibration vote at 7:30 a.m. St. Louis time. So please, this is the time when you should go to your email, look for this message coming from, it will read here, vote now, General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. You remember that drill? We have trained all the delegates, 13 sessions of orientation we have gone through, and we believe by now most, if not all, our delegates are very conversant. But quickly, Mr. Chair, I promise you, in less than 2 minutes, can we do that? And I see the parliamentarian is already ready.
Please.
1.5, okay, because of you, we'll make it 1.5. So you click here on election buddy, okay, and you will find, this is what you find on your screen, right? I have already done my access key because I don't want to waste the time of the chairman, and you will be asked, okay, it is here, so I will have to go out so that you don't see my access key, right? And then I will do it, and then you just answer the question, and then you click on next, and you submit, right? Can you remove my screen from the main screen, please? That would be perfect. Excellent. So remember, you vote, you click on yes or no, and then you click submit, and you click next vote. Mr. Chairman, given the limited time I had, I think that's the best thing we could do. Don't forget to click submit. Don't forget to click next vote. You should be on a page, you stay there, the next ballot will be generated and placed on that page. So, Mr. Chairman, I think we will give this over to you and you can lead us in this calibration vote. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Hensley. Todd, what is happening with our election? If you can give some information to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Some good news. 1,251 of you, thereabouts, have already voted. But there are about 100 people trying to vote. We do understand that it's taking some of you a little bit longer than we'd hoped, so we probably need to keep this going, Mr. Chairman, before we display the results. I will say for this calibration vote, and this will be the only one that we have for this vote is going to stay open for a good part of the day. There's some technical reasons for that to help solve problems. So if we do share the results and move on, you'll still be able to vote in the calibration vote. Now, that will not be true for the rest of the votes. But for the calibration vote today, it will be open a little bit longer for some technical reasons. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you very much. So the election body is really our friend, and we hope it will help us to move quickly, although we will provide each time we vote 3 minutes for everyone to really vote, and then also to not to forget to click the next button after you have submitted it.
Mr. Chairman, I would remind people, if you are having difficulty voting, there are processes to get that assistance. That's not really something to come to the microphone for. So if you are having difficulty voting, there is tech support to support you. So I just want to make sure that's clear. I see some people coming to the microphone, which is interesting because we really don't have anything before the body. But if you're having technical problems, please go to the technical support personnel.
All right. So I see some have here tried to register a point of order, Norbert Sens and Claude Richley.
Of the dome, where internet is very sluggish or non-existent. We cannot properly vote or even access the internet system.
All right, we will ask our technical support staff to really look into the issue. And I think, Norbert, you had the same issue? Okay, so it's both are the same. So please, technical staff, if you could make sure that the internet is working in the building. So we have still 81 who started the vote but have not finished it.
Katika eneo la mkutano, na kwa wale walioko nje eneo la mkutano, basi yale ambayo nawapasa kuweza kuyafanya. Kumbuka kauli mbiu ya mkutano mkuu wa mwaka huu inasema Yesu anakuja, hebu nawe jihusishe. Ujihusishe katika nini? Ujihusishe katika utume. Jesus is coming, get involved kwa lugha ya Kiingereza.
All right, we have some information. What really slows down the internet? We have to do several things which will really help us. Please, Hensley, explain it.
Much, Mr. Chairman. That is why in our orientation that we just had, I highlighted this point. Remember what I shared with you.
Watazamaji, maelekezo yanaendelea kutolewa kwa wajumbe walioko mkutanoni na wale ambao wako sehemu nyinginezo nje ya mkutano, sababu kumbuka mkutano unafanyika katika teknolojia. Maelekezo ya kuwasaidia namna ya kuweza kushiriki kwa ufanisi mkutano huu, namna watakavyoweza kupiga kura katika mkutano, namna watakavyoweza kujilinda dhidi ya maradhi mbalimbali wakiwa wako mkutanoni, kwa maana kutunza afya zao, namna ya kuangalia usalama wao binafsi na mali zao. Kwa hivyo hayo yote ni maandalizi ya awali, maelekezo ya msingi kwa ujumbe wote wa mkutano, ili pindi mkutano uanzapo basi waweze kwenda kwa uzuri.
Nimefurahia kuona na kusikia jinsi ambavyo viongozi pamoja na wajumbe mbalimbali ambao wamehudhuria hapa, hasa wale ambao wanapaswa kupiga kura, maelekezo waliopewa jinsi pia ya kuwa waaminifu katika kile ambacho wanapaswa kukifanya. Na ninagundua ya kwamba kila mmoja anapewa nafasi ya kufanya sehemu yake. Kama ulisikiliza, kuna maeneo ambayo yalikuwa yakielezwa kwa sehemu kubwa kwamba wewe kama ni mjumbe umekwenda, pengine umekwenda kutoka labda katika division moja watu hata 80. Usifanye ya kwamba usifanye kama kundi kupiga kura, lakini piga wewe kama wewe, ukijua ya kwamba unakifanya mbele za Mungu wa mbinguni. Kwa hiyo ninajaribu tu kuona maelekezo ya kina kutoka kwa viongozi na wale ambao wanasimamia hasa katika shughuli hii ambayo ni shughuli adhimu katika kanisa la Waadventista Wasabato ulimwenguni. Na kumbuke tu ya kwamba mkutano huu ndio ambao utaweza kuleta na kuchagua watu kuwa viongozi wa kanisa katika miaka mingine baada ya hii kufika kilele chake.
Which is very good actually.
Asante sana.
And thank you for really following the directions and using only one device. It really helps.
La kupiga kura kama ambavyo unasema, na inashukuriwa kwamba karibuni kila mmoja amejaribu kupiga kwa uaminifu. Kumbuka wanajiandaa kwa ajili ya mkutano. Kwa hivyo lazima pia kufanya zoezi, kufanya zoezi.
All right.
Na walikuwa wanatumia zile kupiga kura. Swali kwa moja, is this your first general conference session? Yani huu ni mkutano wako mkuu wa kwanza kuhudhuria? Basi inaonekana wajumbe karibuni 1156 hii ni mara ya kwanza kuhudhuria mkutano mkuu wa kanisa hili, na wajumbe 677 wao inawezekana ni mara ya pili ya tatu na kadhalika kuhudhuria mkutano huu. Kwa hivyo hii ilikuwa ni kwa ajili ya kuwasaidia wajumbe kuweza kufahamu ni kwa namna gani wanaweza kupiga kura kwa urahisi katika mkutano huu mkuu.
Thank you, Pastor Chair. We have some final procedures to our opening ceremony, and Pastor Chair, to conduct this business at this session in an orderly manner, I would like to move that we adopt the General Conference Rules of Order that each delegate received in the registration as a guide for our business meetings. I move.
Second. All right, it has been moved and seconded. And if you are comfortable, I say this is our normal way of proceeding. You all got the rules of order. We can proceed and vote. So you will get the vote right now. Here you see the motion. It's in front of you. And we will get
on our devices now. Hoja ya kwanza imekuwa ni kuzipokea kanuni ambazo zitaongoza mkutano huu wa 61 wa mkutano mkuu wa 61 wa Kanisa la Wasabato ulimwenguni. Kwa sababu mkutano unakwenda kwanza rasmi, kwa hivyo ni vizuri wakazikubali kwanza kanuni zitakazowaongoza, ili basi watakapokuwa wameshazipokea isije ikatokea mtu mwingine akaja na utaratibu wake mwingine. Kwa hivyo wanapiga kura za kukubali au kukataa. Hoja imeshaingizwa na wanamjadala.
We have no connection, and there is a question for me whether this is an appropriate system for voting if it doesn't work and ensures that all delegates are able to vote.
Thank you very much. We are very sure that the system is very good and works well. We have exercised it with every division, but several things we right now need to adopt here, that the internet will work. So the system works. We need to make the internet now work. Nice. And the reason for that is that many are using several devices. So we will continue asking our technical staff to try to solve it. In order to organize ourselves, will it be okay with you if we take some actions by common consent? So if I don't see anyone rejecting or coming to the mic, several items that usually we always take, we will just take them by common consent, and it will give time to our technicians to solve the internet issue. Is it okay with you? Thank you very much for helping the chair. Don't kill me. Yeah, looks like over 1,000 people have voted and they have the internet, but not all. So let's continue trying to solve the internet connection, but we will take it by common consent, the acceptance of the rules of order. Let's move on, brother.
Okay, Pastor Chair. As a way of ensuring that proper protocol is followed, I move that Todd McFarland of the Office of the General Conference Council could be appointed as parliamentarian of this session. I move.
Second. Thank you. It has been moved and seconded. I see a point of order. Microphone number 2. Norway Conference.
Hilde. Ya kwamba ndugu Todd McFarland aweze kuchaguliwa kuwa msimamizi hasa wa kanuni hizi wanapoendelea na kikao hiki.
And I think that might be some of the problem because the delegate legacy is down. But if you go to the delegate system. Okay.
Thank you very much. We will ask the technical staff to really take in consideration what our sister just said. It will help us. So it was moved and seconded that we appoint or accept Todd. This is a gentleman on my right to function as our parliamentarian. We will take it by common consent if no one objects to it. So,
kanuni zimekwisha kupokelewa na
then welcome to really, but don't forget that there is a chair also, you know, here. I don't mean the chair you are sitting on, but the real chair, you know. All right, let's move on.
Okay, Pastor Chair, this 61st General Conference session was organized in the context of a pandemic, and we have only 4 days, a very limited time to accomplish our agenda. Therefore, to give everyone the opportunity to be heard, but not have any person or persons dominating the discussion, I would suggest that we limit speech to 2 minutes per speech or 3 minutes per speech if it is translated. Pastor Chair, I so move.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. You know, this is a question that requires 2/3 because it's a limitation of the speech. So we really, as we will do it by common consent, we need 100%, so to speak, support. Are you all comfortable with that? If we give 2 minutes to speak in English, and if someone needs translation, 3 minutes. Do I see any objections? Well, thank you very much. I probably can declare that 100% support us. Thank you very much. Let's move on.
As previously announced by email, the General Conference session program and agenda materials are available electronically. Please bear in mind that these materials are intended specifically for the General Conference session delegates. The daily program can be found on page 8. Pastor Chair, I move that we adopt this daily program for this General Conference session.
Second.
Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded. The daily program. Yes, I see someone has come to the microphone, but it's not in the queue. We will wait a few seconds. You have to go back and register. There is a scanning station. All right, we will wait a second. So on microphone number 7, you have registered yourself, so please speak out.
Yes. I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda. I assume that's what you're talking about with the daily schedule. The motion I would like to make, you know, COVID has really changed a lot of things in our church.
Sorry, brother, we are now speaking about the daily program. When we wake up, when we come eat, when we have lunch, and so on. So it's not the item yet that you are raising.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, I see, can we accept the daily program by common consent? Thank you very much. Then we have done it. Let's move to the next item.
Now we'll talk about the agenda. Our agenda is organized in 4 sessions. The general agenda is in items numbered 100 on pages 16 And 17, Constitution and Bylaws agenda is in items number 200 on page 18. Nominations agenda is in items number 300 on page 19. Church manual agenda is in items numbered 400 on page 20, 21, and 22. Pastor Chair, I move that we adopt the agenda as listed in the General Conference session materials.
Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded. Are you comfortable with that? I see we have on microphone number 8, Jonathan Circle.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda. I'm sorry, it's difficult to talk with this echo. COVID has caused a lot of problems in our church, and it's caused a lot of problems for our members. I would like to propose that we discuss the position that the church has taken on the vaccines, specifically related to the statements of 2015 and 2021. Because of these positions that the church has taken, many people have suffered. I have a document that was signed by 25,000 Seventh-day Adventists in 138 countries, by 1,929 pastors, and by 4,164 medical professionals. And they are asking that we reconsider our stance on vaccination. And I would move that this be added to the agenda. I think it is extremely important for bringing our church together through this time. This has been a very divisive situation. It's been a situation where many people have lost their jobs, their livelihood. Some people have lost their homes. People have lost their custody battles. And a lot of it is due to the fact that they're not able to assert their sincerely religious held beliefs because of the position of the church. Now, I don't know what the right solution is, but I trust that this body can come to that solution. And I think it's very important that we have a discussion of this.
Thank you, Brother Jonathan. We really appreciate your concern. But really, the General Conference in session deals with items of Constitution and bylaws, of items that concern our church manual or our fundamental beliefs, such items that are coming to this level. But the issue of vaccination, we know it is a very divisive issue, and actually the document that was proposed by the administration committee has given a full right for everyone to follow their own conscience. So there was no push in one or the other direction. And so we would really plead with you, because we have a shortened session, that we don't load our agenda with items that really don't belong there. So, but we really appreciate your concern.
That's not what the statement has done. I've represented many people in religious liberty matters, and that statement has been very detrimental. And I would ask that you ask for a second. I would ask for a second.
So there is no second. Thank you very much for helping me, because
I know that there are people that are online in Canada that are wishing to make a second at this time.
Thank you very much, dear brother. We have heard you. We have not heard a second, and we will move on. Thank you.
I would like to make an appeal of this decision.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, we will, since there are no more objections, we will accept the agenda and move on. Elder Köhler.
Okay, let us move for the standing committees. We have 3 standing committees planned for work during this General Conference session. They can be found on page 25 and 26. They are the Steering Committee, the Church Manual Committee, and the Constitution and Bylaws Committee. The members of these committees are recommended by the General Conference Administrative Committee, the Church Manual Committee, and the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, with representation from each division, have been functioning throughout the past 7 years. These two committees will meet during the session as needed in connection with discussion of agenda items. Pastor Chair, I move that we approve the standing committees as listed on pages 25 and 26 of our agenda for this General Conference session.
Second.
Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded. I see no one walking to the mics, no objections, and we will accept it by common consent. Let's move to the next item.
Pastor Chair, we have now a very, very meaningful moment when I would like to remind everyone that some of our faithful members and workers worldwide have gone to their rest in Jesus during the past 7 years, especially during the pandemic. In remembrance of their faithful and dedicated lives, I would like to invite all of you to stand now for a moment of silence, reminding each one of them their lives, their legacy. And after this moment of silence, I invite you, Pastor Chair, to close this time with a prayer of thanks for their lives and their ministry, and praying for their families too.
Our Heavenly Father, we would like to thank you for many of our sisters and brothers who have been laid to rest in hope of the resurrection morning, especially in the last 2 years when the pandemic has taken so many of us. But today we would like to thank you for their dedicated lives, for their ministry. May their deeds and their words that they have spoken, witnessing about you, continue to be a seed for the kingdom of God. We ask your blessing upon their families, loved ones and friends. May their faith grow strong. And may we all look to the day when you come and you will put the end to suffering and death. O Lord, come soon. We ask it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Chair. And we now move to accepting into the Sisterhood of Unions the 10 new and reorganized unions that have been created during the last quinquennium. This vote makes the unions official members of the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists and gives them the right to participate with their delegates in this session. We are voting them now, so those delegates can immediately fully participate in this session. You will see the names of these unions listed on the general agenda from items 111 to 116, and we will more formally recognize and introduce each one of them this afternoon. Pastor Chair, I would like to move the acceptance into the Sisterhood of Unions of Seventh-day Adventist Church, the new and reorganized union conferences, union missions, and union of churches conference.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. I see we have number 101. This is probably from the Zoom room. Someone wishes to speak?
Mtu anahitaji kutoa mchango, mjumbe.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Can you hear me? My name is Grace McIntosh, and there was a request for either in the session or online for a second to Jonathan Zirkel's motion, and I second.
Sorry, we have a motion on the floor that we are now discussing. We are discussing of accepting in the sisterhood of our churches a number of unions. So this is now the motion that is in front of us. Thank you very much.
It took a while to get to
All
the
right.
right place to
Are you
be able to
ready
get
to
the
accept
way.
those unions? I see on Zoom 101, Tobacco Mission. Ken Map.
Well, I'm not even sure if it...
Yes,
I'm not
please.
even sure. My issue concerns the same issue before. The internet challenges has caused the delay in responding to these issues, and I have seconded the motion as well. So it's a challenge. I'm not sure if you're going to go back to it so we can look at it, because we have a situation where we have been voting by common consensus, and an issue was raised regarding the agenda, and the agenda passed based on common consensus. But an issue was raised, which I think it's important that the church
hoja iliyoko mezani hivi sasa ni kupokewa kwa union ambazo zimeanzishwa katikati hapa kabla ya mkutano huu mkuu. Kwa hivyo ni lazima kwa mujibu wa miongozo ya kanisa ziweze kupokewa na kuwa sehemu ya familia ya kanisa ulimwenguni, na ndipo viongozi wake watakuwa na haki na wale wajumbe pia watakuwa na fursa ya kuweza kushiriki mkutano huu. Kama ikitokea itakataliwa union moja, manake ni kwamba basi itakuwa imenyimwa haki hiyo, lakini hilo ni nadra sana kutokea, kwa sababu kazi ya Mungu inakuwa pindi union zinapoongezeka. Kwa hivyo tunaamini ya kwamba baada ya mjadala huu wajumbe watapokea union hizo ziweze kuwa sehemu ya kanisa ulimwenguni. Hata hapa Tanzania union ilipogawanywa ilipasa tulizonazo sasa ziweze kupokewa, na ndipo zikawa sehemu ya kanisa ulimwenguni. Basi kura inapigwa kwa wajumbe kusimama. Wajumbe wanasimama ikiwa ni ishara ya kukubali kwamba union hizo zimekubaliwa. Na unaona watazamaji, karibuni wajumbe wote wamesimama ikiwa ni ishara ya kuafiki kwamba union mpya zimepokelewa katika familia ya kanisa la Wasabato ulimwenguni.
Each union will be presented. You will see them, and more information will be given to you, and this will also help you.
kuhudhuria rasmi katika mkutano huu.
I would like to introduce now two unions, and I would like to call your attention for this moment. Two unions that were attached to the General Conference during this quinquennium. They have already been approved by the General Conference Executive Committee, but today I would like to introduce them officially to our worldwide family. Both unions are working very hard under challenging circumstances to move forward and share hope for the people in their territories. I'm referring to the China Union Mission and to the Ukrainian Union Conference. We are so happy to welcome their delegates who represent a special part of our church family. From China Union, some of our delegates traveled to St. Louis, and many others are participating online. This is an historical moment for this delegation, because this is the first time in 50 years
basi kipekee kwa sababu ya upekee huo wamepewa upendeleo tuseme wa kuweza kusema
all the
katika
delegates
mkutano huu.
authorized to travel to St. Louis. They are here. They leave their country and travel to GC session. And we are so happy.
Ukraine pamoja na vita, wajumbe wake wameweza kusafiri na kufika katika mkutano mkuu katika mji huu wa St. Louis. Na sasa wanaalikwa wajumbe wote kutoka Ukraine na kutoka China wasimame. Unaweza kuona hao ni Ukraine, bendera yao wakipepea. Mungu atukuzwe kwa pamoja na changamoto ya vita. Wajumbe hao wameweza kufika kwa ajili ya kazi muhimu ya Mungu kule Marekani. Unaweza kuona kwa jinsi gani watu wanaipenda Mungu na kulipenda kanisa.
Those delegates that are present on site, you know that they also represent all the delegates that are participating online in this session. We'd like to thank you. You're welcome for them. However, the best thing that we can do now is to pray for them. Please, delegates from Ukraine and some of them from China, I would like to ask you again to stand. And I'd like to invite Pastor Ted Wilson, the General Conference President, to come here and to pray for both countries, for both unions, and for all the delegates that are on site and those that are
ya kuombea hawa wajumbe. Sio tu wale ambao wako kumbini, lakini na wengine pia ambao wanafuatilia kupitia njia za mawasiliano. Baba yetu
we are so mindful of the fact that you preserve your people in all kinds of circumstances.
Tunatambua sana jinsi ambavyo umekuwa ukilinda watu wako katika changamoto zote. Tunakushukuru kwa ajili ya safari njema, kwa ajili ya wajumbe ambao wameweza kufika mahali hapa kuhudhuria mkutano huu, na kwa wale ambao wanafuatilia kupitia njia nyingine za mtandao kutoka Union ya China. Tunakushukuru kwa ajili ya uwepo wao. Tunakushukuru kwa ajili ya uwepo wa wajumbe kutoka Union ya Ukraine. Mungu, asante kwa sababu umetoa nafasi kwa wao kuweza kuhudhuria mahali hapa. Lakini wote hawa ni wawakilishi tu wa waumini wengi katika China na katika nchi ya Ukraine. Tunaweka mikononi mwako, wapatie ulinzi, wapatie amani, wapatie uwepo wako. Bwana, asante kwa kutuongoza kwa familia moja katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Asante kwa ajili ya wajumbe hawa na sisi wote ambao tumesimama. Tunasimama kwa ajili ya kuwafurahia, lakini tunakushukuru zaidi wewe na ukuu wako. Asante kwa kusikia na kutubariki tunapoendelea. Kwa jina la Yesu naomba. Amen. Basi wajumbe ndio keti. Mpendwa mtazamaji,
Pastor Chair, now
agenda iliyopita ilikuwa ni kukaribisha Union na kipekee zikasimamishwa ni mbili, China na Ukraine, ili kuwakilisha nyingine ambazo zimepokea.
I would like to invite Pastor Hensley Muruven, the Undersecretary of the General Conference, to present the composition of this committee.
Thank you very much, Brother Secretary. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to report that the 17 caucuses have met, and based on the provision of the Constitution and bylaws of the GC, have submitted the quota of delegates who are to be recommended to serve on the GC session nominating committee. We receive all these lists. They have been consolidated now into one single document. And on the screen, as I speak, you should see a list of 268
unachokiona sasa ni kamati ya uchaguzi ambayo itakwenda kuchagua viongozi wa kanisa katika nyadhifa mbalimbali. Hao wote wanaopita hapo, majina hayo ndio watu ambao wamependekezwa kuwemo katika kamati hiyo. Kwa hiyo yanaingizwa ili kamati hiyo ikaweze kupokewa kwa ajili ya kufanya kazi hiyo ya uchaguzi. Na unaweza ukaona majina hapo. Lekundayo Godwin kutoka Tanzania, unaweza ukamwona hapo yumo. Kwa hivyo Malekana Mark yumo. Kwa hiyo kuna majina ambayo yanafahamika kutoka Tanzania pia yamo kwa ajili ya zoezi hili la uchaguzi wa viongozi wa kanisa kutoka sehemu mbalimbali za ulimwengu. Gideon Mutero kutoka ECD naye yumo humo, unaweza ukamwona. Kwa hivyo yanapitishwa hapo ili wajumbe wote waweze kuyaona, na kisha baada ya hapo kura ifanyike kuweza kuipokea hiyo kamati au kuikataa. Kwa mzee Tony Nyirenda,
Pastor Chair,
unaweza ukaisitiwa jina la wapi?
Yes, please.
Now I would like to move the approval of the composition of the General Conference Session Nominating Committee as presented just now.
And second.
Basi
All
hoja
right, it
imeingizwa
has
na
been
imeungwa
moved
mkono
and seconded.
kwamba kamati iweze
There are a
kupokewa.
number of people who wish to speak to the issue of vaccination. I will ask you, please wait till we handle this issue, and then I will come back to you. All right, it has been moved and seconded.
Kamati
Are
hiyo
there
ina
any
watu
objection, any questions? Because this has
268.
been, nominated by different groups, unions, divisions, etc. So a process was already involved in selecting it. Are you comfortable by accepting it?
Iweze kupokewa na mwenyekiti anawahoji wajumbe ikiwa
I
wanaipokea.
see people saying here, people saying yes. So we have the motion in front of us,
Kwa hivyo tayari
and we
kamati ya
will accept
uchaguzi
it by common consent.
imeundwa.
Thank you very much for that. And now
Hiyo ndio
there are a
kamati ya
number of
uchaguzi
people who
kwa mwaka huu wa
feeling that I was a little
2022.
bit too fast. With a second, so we have Grace McIntosh, Daniel, Jenna, and Ken Mapp who would like to speak. Okay, you have 2 minutes, please.
I understand that I'm unmuted, and it is a hybrid session, and you did ask for a second, and I did text right away that I would like to second. I just didn't get to the right chat room in time, and I would like to second Jonathan Zirkle's motion. We've had great difficulty in Canada as well because of the way the statements have been worded, because of the way our law is being applied.
All right, since this time we have quite a challenge to get immediately all the responses from the Zoom. We will provide you a chance and see if the body wishes to come back to this issue or not. Then we will accept your second as a second, and we will ask if we can. How is the internet right now? Can we have?
Basi inaonekana kuna changamoto kwa wajumbe huko kidogo, wanawekana sawa na mwenyekiti, lakini nikwambie tu mpendwa mtazamaji ya kwamba tayari kikao kinaendelea, na hivi ndivyo ambavyo kanisa katika ngazi hii ya juu ya ulimwengu huendesha mambo yake. Na hivi punde tu imetoka kupitishwa hoja ya kupokea kamati ya uchaguzi, na majina yamepitishwa hapo, na unaweza kuona kwa haraka Watanzania wawili kama changu kwa haraka nimewaona viongozi wetu wa union hizo mbili ya kaskazini na kusini, wakiwemo ni miongoni mwa wajumbe wa kamati hiyo ambayo itakwenda kufanya zoezi la kuchagua viongozi wa kanisa katika ngazi hii ya ulimwengu na katika ngazi pia za kisaidizi
on site and online. In reference to the issue that has been brought up by a delegate regarding vaccinations,
mwenyekiti anatoa mrejesho kuhusiana na ile hoja ya chanjo.
Fair enough for us to vote on that. But I want to strongly urge, and I have the consent and agreement of my fellow officer, Ayrton Kohler, my other fellow officer, Paul Douglas, that we stand united in asking this body not to put that issue on the agenda, for the reasons that have already been enunciated by our chair. First of all, it is not a constitution and bylaws item. Secondly, it is not a church manual item. Thirdly, it is not a fundamental belief item. Now, there may be individuals who will disagree with me and others, saying it is my fundamental right to be able to make a choice as to whether or not I wish to receive the vaccination, a vaccination, some vaccination, or not. And the General Conference has very much stood on the position that everyone should make their own decision. The General Conference has made a statement in regards to vaccinations. In fact, I have to tell you that the country that I served in for almost 9 years in West Africa, I would not have been able to serve there had I not had a particular vaccination. In fact, there are probably about 15 countries in Africa and perhaps elsewhere with that single vaccination where you would not even be able to enter. So the debate may contain all kinds of ramifications. It has become particularly acute with the recent COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting vaccinations that were developed, which are not exactly like other vaccinations, but are vaccinations. So it depends on what vaccinations you're talking about as to what responses people give. But the General Conference has not mandated that people take the vaccination. It has given people a choice. So rather than for us to become embroiled in something which is not an agenda item for a General Conference, it is an administrative item. It has been dealt with. Some people don't like the way it has been dealt with, and that is their right. But rather than for us to become embroiled in something that is not an item for a General Conference session discussion, we respectfully, kindly, and very much in a determined manner ask that you, the delegates, vote no on placing this item as an agenda item. Thank you. It is in your hands.
Thank you, Elder Wilson. I see a point of order on microphone number 6. Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dave Wagley, North American Division. It's not on this issue, but rather on the voting situation we have going on right now.
Mpendwa mtazamaji, mwenyekiti wa kanisa alikuwa akitoa maelekezo yake kuhusiana na pendekezo ambalo lilikuwa limetolewa na mjumbe mmoja kwamba suala la chanjo kwa ujumla wake liweze kujadiliwa katika kikao hiki, na mwenyekiti amewakumbusha tu wajumbe ya kwamba kikao hiki kibaki tu na ajenda ambazo zilikuwa zimekwisha kupitishwa, kwa sababu suala hilo tayari lilikwisha kutolewa miongozo na kanisa.
Thank you for helping the chair. I will ask you to stand when we will be ready now to vote. So, dear delegates, okay, I see here still people on microphone number 5. Daniel?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Still about the point of order. I don't know who is seconding each time that our Elder Koller was moving a point. If it comes from the chair, I observe that it would be also good if from the floor you could ask somebody just to raise hand to second also the motion, just to give the impression that we are participating in the debate.
Thank you.
Because I don't feel comfortable when on your mics, from the pulpit, I hear move, and on your right, I hear second. So if we are here just to vote, and some people are not really in position to vote for electronical issues, we want to help us each other because we are in the same church. Another point, because I still have some seconds, Elder Wilson has made a report, which was a beautiful report on mission, and we were all moved by the baptism after the experience in the Philippines. Now, I don't know if we are supposed, as church, world church, to approve this report, to give our support to this report, not only by uploading, but to, as usual, ask for a vote to say, okay, we approve the report. Is this, and with this I ask a question, is this the only report of the President of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists? I would like to raise my hand or to click to say I approve the report of the outgoing President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Brother Daniel. Very much. Number one, to your first item, please help the chair and second it. I will really appreciate it. And let's be very active
Mtazamaji wa jumbe wanaendelea kutoa hoja zao katika kikao na mjumbe aliyepita
always the president was giving, actually a summary of the mission activities in the quinquennium. In the evening, it was never an item for approval or disapproval or whatever. The same is true for all the division reports. So there is nothing new. We just follow our traditions that we always have. All right, we go now to microphone number 8, Armando.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's just in relation to the nominating committee suggestion list. Is the time to talk about it?
We have already voted it, Armando.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was out for a moment. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We go to Zoom 101. Grace.
Basi mjumbe atakuchangia hoja ambayo imekwisha kupita na kumbe alikuwa yuko nje wakati imepita, basi amekosa fursa ya kutoa mchango wake. Labda pia tuambie tu kwamba wakati wa vikao ni wakati wa kujitahidi kutulia kikaoni, maana unaweza ukatoka alafu likapita jambo na ulikuwa na mchango katika jambo.
I had trouble when I was waiting to be unmuted. Thank you for letting me speak again. I just wanted to say that the state seems to think that there are objections of a religious nature with respect to the COVID-19 vaccines. Also, saying in the negative that something is not religious is still making a religious statement. And here in Canada, although we have protection with respect to individual religious objections, there is a shift to require collective aspect, which is impossible to meet because of the way the statements are worded. And we would have freedom if there had been no statement. That would have allowed freedom of conscience, freedom of religion. No, I know I have 1 minute and 15 seconds left, but I really don't have anything more to say. And so that does shift that into the basket of the session. It is a religious determination that's been made in the statements by saying it's not religious. And it should be something that comes before all the delegates. And if I was more articulate, I would probably be able to say that more eloquently. But I just want to put that before the delegates. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I go now to microphone number 2.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Daniel Stoyanovich from Israel Field. I fully support the remark of Elder Ted Wilson. And my desire to speak comes from the fact that I don't want to see our church acting and giving impression that somehow we don't want to include something important in the agenda. And this is why I would like just to remind everybody that there are procedures how to discuss the agenda of the General Conference. So from my understanding, if every delegate comes just with one item and say, I would like to include this in the agenda, and we are more than 2,000 delegates, so basically we will spend the summer here. This is not how we proceed. Not the question that we want to close the discussion, but as I understand, in so many other domains, we have the opportunity to go to the procedures and then to include it as a body. Not one person can impose the agenda. It is always the committee system that we apply in our church, and this is what I would like to see it today, in unity.
Si rahisi sana na si jambo jema sana kwa kila mjumbe kuinuka hivi sasa na kutaka kuingiza ajenda mpya katika ajenda ambazo tayari zimewasilishwa, kwa sababu inawezekana wakatokea wajumbe wengi wakiwa na hoja ambazo wanadhani muhimu zijadiliwe, na ikitokea tu kwa mfano wametokea wajumbe 20 wakaingiza hoja mpya 20, bila shaka itawabidi kukaa kwa muda mrefu kuliko ambalo kumekusudiwa. Na ukumbuke kwamba ni mkutano ambao unashiriki watu kutoka sehemu mbalimbali za ulimwengu. Kwa hivyo kuna watu ambao wamekwenda Marekani katika mkutano huu kwa kibali maalum tu, kwa siku zile za mkutano tu. Kwa hivyo kuongeza siku 2, moja inaweza ikaathiri safari zao kurudi majumbani mwao. Kwa na wasii wajumbe zake kwamba wao wastahimilivu na basi wazipokea ajenda ambazo zipo. Kama kuna ajenda nyingine inaweza kuwasilishwa katika mkutano wa kanisa wakati mwingine kwa namna ambayo inakubalika. Na nikwambie tu mpendwa mtazamaji kwamba mara baada ya mkutano huu mkuu, si kwamba kanisa liendelee kukutana. Viongozi kwa wamechaguliwa, watakuwa na kamati ambayo itachaguliwa katika mkutano huu kuwasaidia kuongoza shughuli za kila siku za kanisa. Kwa hivyo kama kuna jambo nyeti ambalo kwa sasa halitajadiliwa, baadaye litakuja kujadiliwa katika vikao vingine vya juu vya kanisa, na imekuwa ikifanyika hivyo nyakati zote. Na alikuwa anazungumzia kuhusiana na hoja ambayo alikuwa ameleta mjumbe kwamba naomba hoja iweze kuingia, iweze kujadiliwa, na mjumbe kutoka Israeli alikuwa anakumbusha sasa umuhimu wa kufuata taratibu.
So that you will be part of the vote, to vote through the election body. Okay. Here in the issue of the internet is still being solved. So I will ask everyone who is here, if you would like to include, if you support the amendment, then I would like to ask you to stand. If you don't want to include it, then remain sitting. But people on Zoom, since you have a good internet connection, I would like you to
Sasa mwenyekiti kwa kuzingatia hoja zote ambazo zimetolewa amekubali kura ipigwe kuangalia iwapo hoja ya chanjo, kujadili kuhusiana chanjo ingizwe katika orodha ya ajenda za mkutano huu mkuu au la. Kwa hivyo wajumbe watapiga kura kuamua ikiwa hoja hiyo iingizwe au isiingizwe. Ikiingizwa maana yake kwamba itabidi tamko la hapo nyuma litiwe tena na kuangaliwa kwamba tunataka kusema nini sasa kama kanisa la Waadventista Sabato kuhusiana na swala la chanjo kwa ujumla wake. Ndio mtazamaji, unaweza kuona jinsi ambavyo kanisa linafanya mambo yake kwa uwazi na kwa ushirikishwaji, jinsi ambavyo pia washiriki wanapewa nafasi ya kutoa mawazo yao na kusikizwa na viongozi. Mjumbe alitoa wazo kwamba tuiongeze ajenda hii, na baada ya mjadala hatimaye imeonekana kwamba kura ipigwe kuamua kama iingie au isiingie kwa miongoni mwa zile ajenda.
Please, if you are able to turn off your Wi-Fi and just use your phone data, do that. This will ease the internet connection in the room. Thank you, Pastor.
All right, thank you very much. So please, let's go, everyone who has a data, turn to data and disconnect the Wi-Fi so that we will provide Wi-Fi for those who don't have data systems. All right? And then, Brother Secretary, can you probably formulate what we are voting? I have a point of order. Can map 101? Just a minute.
Right, good day, everybody.
Yes, please.
It's a point of order.
Yes, please.
If a motion is on the table, it must, and it has been seconded, there should be an opportunity for discussion. It has not been allowed for, first of all. Secondly, we have not yet confirmed, which is what we were trying to do in the initial stages of this business meeting. We have not yet confirmed if everyone is in a position to vote, especially by election body. Because we did all the regularization, the confirmation initially, and we got 1,000+ votes. But then there were issues raised with the voting process. And you can't have a meeting of people with hands, people with legitimate hands who can raise it, and have them feeling as if they have no hands, that they can't even vote. So on many different grounds, what is happening is wrong. I'm not even going to the issue of the vaccination or why it is wrong, or why Mr. Wilson's expression might really need some reflection. In that, if we are going what Mr. Wilson says, then we might as well take out the fundamental belief about Christian behavior from our books, because that fundamental belief speaks to the issue of taking care of our temples. That fundamental belief speaks to the intelligent use of narcotics and drugs. It speaks to us dealing with those issues. So if we are going the way of that vote to not discuss a critical divisive issue, then we might as well take out that from the books. And I must say, this church has never been afraid of divisive issues. And I'm noticing the language, common, consensus, unity, common, consensus, unity. We've got to be careful. We got to be careful about those agendas. Time running out, but I'll say in closing very, very simply, brethren, let's think. This is our church. Let's not be guided by words and the semantics of words. Let's stand up for our church.
Thank you very much. We have another point of order. Microphone number 5, Solomon Maposa.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please.
It's with regards to the use of the voting system. We do appreciate that the people are advised to turn off the whatever other devices they have, and including using their data. I am thinking of my brothers and sisters from SID buying data here using foreign currency may be difficult. And so, Mr. Chairman, unless the chair finds it okay that a large section of our people does not vote, maybe we can continue that way. But if we want our people to all
Mpendwa mtazamaji, wajumbe wanaendelea kuchangia kusaidia mwenyekiti na kusaidia kikao kuweza kufikia maamuzi kwa busara na kufikia maamuzi mazuri kwa ajili ya ustawi wa kanisa na waumini wake popote pale ulimwenguni.
We don't mean that everyone has to switch, because there is an internet connection here, and in order to help everyone who is not from United States and don't have the data, when we get off Wi-Fi, we will be providing to everyone else Wi-Fi, and it will make us all, make it possible for all of us to vote. And I think if we have done it right now, probably it will work, vote. And since we have a number of people who still feel that we need to discuss it more and so on, but there was also already expressed a wish to stop the discussion, let's first have a vote to stop the discussion. If you are for it, you vote yes to stop the discussion. If you are against it, you say no, you want to continue the discussion. So let's vote, let's go to the election body, and if you would like to stop the discussion, please vote yes. If you would like to continue the discussion, please vote no. It will take us 1 second.
Yeah, it'll take us just a second to get that ballot ready. If you can just give us a second, we will be ready.
All right.
Kwa hivyo wanakwenda katika zoezi la kupiga kura, na kura inapigwa ili kuafiki au kutokuafiki kuongezwa kwa hoja ya kujadili swala la chanjo katika orodha ya hoja ambazo zinajadiliwa
that you can speak days and days and days, and you will never come to the common denominator.
Kama wakikubali wajumbe, basi swala la chanjo litajadiliwa pia katika mkutano huu, lakini wakikataa kwamba haina haja lijadiliwe, basi litaachwa. Hatujui litajadiliwa lini, lakini huenda katika vikao vingine na mikutano mingine.
All right, so please, if you would like to stop the discussion, vote yes. If you would like to continue, vote no.
Mtazamaji, kama nilivyosema hapo awali, hii inatuonesha ni jinsi gani kanisa hili linavyofanya mambo yake kwa uwazi, sababu leo hii hata mtazamaji aliyeko kule Kapala Msenga, aliyeko kule Kidete Mlimani na Kapanya na Ngurukuru Mtambaswala, aliyeko Tunduru, aliyeko Mbinga, aliyeko Mtukula, mtu aliyeko Huriri, mtu aliyeko kule Mtinko Singida, anaweza kuona jinsi kanisa lake linavyofanya maamuzi yake ya msingi katika vikao vyake, na hii inamsaidia mtu kulipenda zaidi kanisa lake na kuliamini. Uwazi ni jambo la muhimu sana katika utendaji wa kazi ya Mungu, na linadhihirishwa katika kanisa hili kupitia mkutano huu mkuu. Kwa hivyo ni zoezi la upigaji kura linaloendelea hivi sasa. Kila mmoja anapiga kura yake, na baada ya hapo zitahesabiwa, tutaambiwa ni kura kiasi gani zimepatikana kwa kila agenda.
If someone has still a problem, please go to the technical people to clarify it. Yes, Robert. Norbert. Number 2, microphone number 2.
We have still the situation that several in our delegation are not able to vote.
All right. Let's see how many votes we got, and then those who were not able, I will ask you.
Mr. Chairman, we have voted 1,712 votes. That's approximately 64% of the entire delegate group. So we are now, Mr. Chairman, at 1,729 with about 89 people trying to vote. So we should give it a little bit more minute, a couple more minutes.
Okay, let's give a little bit more time. So it really helped when people went off the Wi-Fi, those who were able.
Nikumbushe tu mpendwa mtazamaji ya kwamba mkutano huu mkuu umeanza rasmi
Take one more minute or
leo na utaisha siku ya Sabato jioni tarehe 11 na unafanyika katika mji wa St. Louis katika nchi ya Marekani, na Hope Channel Tanzania wataendelea kurusha kwako kila siku ili kusaidia kuweza kujua jinsi kanisa linafanya maamuzi yake katika mkutano huu mkuu, ngazi ya juu kabisa ya maamuzi ndani ya kanisa.
All right. So it's a good sign.
Kura zinaendelea kusubiriwa. Ni kufahamisha tu mpendwa mtazamaji kwamba uamuzi wote unaofanywa na kikao hiki cha mkutano mkuu au vikao vyote vile vya mkutano mkuu haviwezi, maamuzi yale hayawezi kubadilishwa. Maana hii ndio ngazi ya mwisho na ya juu kabisa ya kiutendaji ndani ya kanisa. Na hapa ndipo ile dhana ya kwamba mnalofikia duniani limefika mbinguni linapofanyika, kwamba mkutano huu unaoleta kanisa lote pamoja ukiamua, basi huo ndio msimamo wa kanisa, na maamuzi yanaweza yakawa ni ndio au hapana. Kwa hiyo popote itakavyokuwa, mpendwa mtazamaji, ngazi hii ikishaamua imeamua na kanisa lilikuwa limeamua. Kumbuka bado watu wanapiga kura, wajumbe wanapiga kura kwa hoja kwamba swala la chanjo kwa ujumla wake liongezwe katika orodha ya hoja za mkutano huu au la. Wajumbe wanaendelea kupiga kura, tuone kama inafikiwa au hayafikiwi. Basi upigaji kura umefungwa na muda si mrefu tutajulishwa matokeo.
We will see it.
Na yataonyeshwa na kura zinasema.
So you can see it, we have 1,581
1,581 ambao ni sana 84.5 wanasema haina haja, na watu 291 ambao ni 15.5 wamesema kulikuwa na haja ya hoja hiyo kuongezwa. Kwa sababu hiyo, ndugu mtazamaji, ni kwamba swala la chanjo halitajumuishwa katika hoja za mkutano mkuu. Kwa hivyo hoja zilizokwisha kubaliwa awali zinaendelea kubakia vile vile na kujadiliwa.
We have finished our morning session.
Mr. Chairman, are you ready to open the ballot?
Yes, please. I see microphone number 2, point of order.
Yes, a point of order. We are trying to access the election body.
Hoja iliyokubaliwa ni ya kusitisha mjadala wa hoja ya kuongeza hoja ya chanjo katika orodha ya ajenda. Sasa ndipo unakwenda kufanyika upigaji kura rasmi wa kuangalia kama hoja hiyo ya chanjo ijumuishwa au la. Hoja iliyokwisha kufanywa uamuzi ilikuwa ni ya kuamua mjadala uendelee au usiendelee. Kumbuka kulikuwa na mjadala kujadili juu ya hiyo hoja kama inafaa kujadiliwa au la, na mwenyekiti alikuwa amesema haina haja kwenda kujadili, lakini tuendelee na upigaji kura tuone. Wengine walidhani kwamba ilikuwa ni vizuri kuendelea kuongea. Kwa hivyo maamuzi umefanyika, tusiendelee kuongea kuhusiana na habari ya chanjo, ila tufanye uamuzi sasa kama chanjo iwe ni hoja katika ajenda zetu au la.
All right, so let's vote now on the amendment.
Kwa hiyo upigaji kura unafanyika sasa.
If you would like to add the issue, you vote
ili kuweza
yes.
kurekebisha ajenda za mkutano,
please vote no.
Kwa hiyo kama mtu anataka swala chanjo lijadiliwe katika mkutano huu atasema ndio, na kama anaona hapana, sio lazima atasema hapana. Kwa hivyo upigaji kura umefunguliwa.
So this is the amendment. If you would like to add the issue vaccination to the agenda, then you vote yes. If you don't like it, then vote
kura
no.
Ilipigwa ili kusitisha mjadala kwa sababu kujadili sana wakati mwingine hakufanyi uamuzi uweze kufikiwa. Naweza mkaongea hadi kukapambazuka, lakini hamjafikia mwafaka. Namna nzuri ya kuweza kufikia mwafaka ni kupiga kura, na hata Biblia inasema kukata maneno. Kwa hivyo kura ilipigwa ili kwanza kusitisha mjadala, alafu baada ya hapo sasa kura inapigwa ili kuona kama ajenda ya chanjo inaweza kukubaliwa na kujadiliwa katika mkutano huu au la. Kwa lugha nyingine, mpendwa msikilizaji, ni kwamba endapo wajumbe watakubali swala chanjo lijadiliwe, kanisa litapaswa kujadili na kutoka tena na mtazamo mpya au msimamo mpya kuhusiana na swala la chanjo. Chanjo kwa ujumla wake, sio chanjo ya uviko peke yake, chanjo kwa ujumla wake. Kwa hivyo wakikubali litajadiliwa, na kanisa kutoka na mtazamo gani hatujui, maana mjadala ndio utakaoamua. Wakisema hapana isiongezwe, basi mtazamo ule ambao tayari ushatolewa, msimamo ushatolewa na kanisa utadumu kuendelea vile vile, kwamba watu waweze kufuata huo. Hivi ndivyo kanisa la Waadventista Sabato linavyofanya kazi. Hii ikiwa ni katika ngazi yake kuu kabisa, ngazi ya juu kuliko zote ya maamuzi ndani ya kanisa. Wajumbe wanaendelea kupiga kura.
All right, Mr. Chairman, it is closed. It will be displayed momentarily. There we go.
Basi wajumbe 203 ambao ni asilimia 11.4 wamesema ndio iongezwe, na wajumbe 1579 ambao ni asilimia 88.6 wamesema hapana, swala chanjo lisiongezwe katika ajenda za mkutano huu. Na zoezi hili ndio linahitimisha kikao hiki cha awamu ya kwanza, na ombi linaenda kutolewa kufunga kikao hiki. Wajumbe wanaomba kusimama ili kuweza kufunga kikao.
Our Heavenly Father, we
Baba
thank you for your presence from morning until now.
Tangu asubuhi hadi wakati huu.
We have listened to your word together.
Tumesikia neno lako kwa pamoja.
We have prayed together.
Tumeomba kwa pamoja.
And we've also rejoiced together as we watch two new souls for the kingdom baptized.
Roho mpya kwa ufalme wako zikibatizwa leo hii katika jina la Yesu Kristo.
As we go through the rest of this session from today
tunapoendelea na kikao hiki tangu leo hadi tarehe 11 Juni,
all of the proceedings.
Basi yote tunaweka mikononi mwako.
We leave in your hands all of the technicalities.
Tunaweka mikononi mwako.
We leave in your hands all of the debates and the discussions.
Mijadala yote na midahalo yote.
Whatever is done and said,
chochote kitakachofanyika,
may bring glory and honor to
your
name.
Kuletea wewe utukufu na heshima.
As we leave this place and go now to
tunapoondoka mahali hapa sasa na kwenda kwa ajili ya chakula, tunaomba uweze kubariki chakula na kutakasa kiweze kutupatia
njema.
Tusiangalie tu habari ya chakula kile cha kimwili, lakini pia tuweze kuangalia chakula cha roho, hasa kuhusiana na kujazwa kwa Roho Mtakatifu. Tunaomba katika jina la Yesu.
Amen.
Amina.
Thank you very much.
Basi mpendwa mtazamaji, ni wakati wa chakula. Ni wakati wa chakula, na baada ya chakula watu watarudi ili kuweza kuendelea na kikao. Mapumziko yanatolewa hapa ya dakika kadhaa kwa ajili ya chakula. Takribani saa 1:30 hivi watu watarudi hapa kwa ajili ya chakula. Mungu akubariki kwa kuendelea kufuatilia. Haya ni matangazo kutoka St. Louis, Marekani, ya mkutano mkuu wa kanisa la Waadventista wa Sabato.
kutengenezwa, na hapa tunajaribu kuweka ule wimbo wa kaa nami ni usiku tena katika hali ya vitendo. Tunaye Emmanuel wetu hapa, tunaye Rehema ambaye amelindwa na uwezo wa Mungu siku leo, Rugina ambaye ndiye ana direct show hii pamoja na the Benchiko yoga Karao, na mimi mwenyewe sasa ndio maidia hapa ili story kama mwisho basi ile katika yote nipe hayo.
Emanueli, Mungu pamoja nasi.
Aise mama, haina haja kuchelewa. Hii hapa chuma ya kuwai karatu. Davo, amsha kibati. Davo, msimama hapo.
Musiniache jamani, na mimi naenda huko Karatu. Tafadhali konda, nisubiri.
Aise chari una masiara kweli. Karatu na baiskeli utafika lini wewe? Aise choma ndani sasa, unasubiri nini hapo?
Zama ndani. Twende.
Aise mbona chelewa kuamsha hicho kibati, twenzetu aise. Aise Davo, amsha kibati aise. Ni moja kwa moja tunaikata hiyo Manyara mpaka hapo Karatu aise. Kwenye mkutano wa Satellite 2020B. Lazima watu wapigwe ukweli wa neno la Mungu aise Davo.
Imekaa sawa hiyo aise.
Chochea gari, sisi si wa kuchelewa.
Noma.
Tosha mbambi, kata shauri urudi nyumbani kwa baba.
Hii si ya kukosa, ni kuanzia Juni 25 hadi Julai 15 mwaka 2022. Twenzetu Karatu.